Greetings from Podcastville. The Church of What's Happening Now is brought to you by My Bookie. Listen, the NFL playoffs are here. It's time to get on the action with My Bookie. Not only that, you got college basketball. You got college pro basketball. You got hockey. You got the UFC. You got a lot of things going on. It really is the most wonderful time of the year. So do me a favor. If you join My Bookie now, they'll offer you a 50% deposit bonus to make sure you have a nice bankroll for bowl season. Use promo code CHURCH when you deposit to activate the offer. That's promo code CHURCH. At My Bookie, you play, you win, you get paid. I also want to welcome On It. Listen, it's a new year with a new set of rules, and you're trying to make moves and make things happen. On It is the way to start with Alpha Brain, okay? I'm traveling this week. If you don't think I have my immune tech with me, my Shroom Tech Immune, you're out of your fucking mind. Everybody else got a mask on, not me. I'm confident. I eat 4 of those fucking capsules. You cough in my face. Nothing will happen. Why? Because that's On It for you. And Alpha Brain, you want to get your thoughts together. You want to think clear. You want to have more focus. Alpha Brain's the way to go. If it doesn't work for you, they don't even want the product. They'll just give you the money back guarantee. But go to onit.com/church and get 10% off delivered right to your motherfucking crib. Kick that motherfucking muley. It's always great torturing Lee on a fucking Thursday morning. How are you, bad motherfuckers? I got in studio Carmen Morales. You're thinking to yourself, Joey, who the fuck? Don't worry about nothing. Don't ask no questions. First off, I hope your week is going great. It's a Thursday, you know what I'm saying? I got to head to fucking New York City to tape something for my boy DB and Tip Top Magoo. I'm right back. The best thing about the trip is I get to go to meet Ari at Peter Luger's, and I'm excited because they got the best fucking steak in the country. And it's going to be early so I can digest it because I'm old. You don't want to eat meat late at night.
Yeah, you can't eat meat and then lay down.
No, let's say you get a heart attack, and then you jerk off, and that's it. Next thing you know, they find you with a rope around your neck and a belt. You're trying to jerk off like the singer from NXS.
And they create a different narrative than what really happened. You just ate steak too late.
Oh, I was gonna say, how does eating meat make you put a rope around your neck?
It just makes you go crazy at that. It makes me fucking go crazy. You can't be that kind of a carnivore.
Once that vodka gets in your brain, man, it'll fuck with you.
I had no
Carmen
idea.
Morales, a young comic. I met her at the store. Mm-hmm. And along the way, I watched you like twice on stage. And then I found something out. I found out that you were a door girl.
Yeah, second in door girl history.
Second door girl in history to fucking be on at the store.
Yeah.
Like, it's all changed. There was a time Mitzi would not hire a male waiter. Like, there was no male waiters. Guys, no men.
No?
No food.
She was like
allowed.
Opposite of Calico Jacks. She was just like,
Everything that's going on there now, business-wise, like there was no food allowed. She didn't want you eating because you couldn't laugh.
Mm-hmm. It was just booze only.
So she took that hit. Yeah, it was booze and popcorn. Popcorn at the tables that tasted like ass.
Of course. Keep you drinking.
And then she, I don't think she'd have a door girl. I don't think in her heart she had it like that to have a door girl there.
Yeah.
In her mind, I think she felt like she was the door girl. By the time I got there, she wasn't there every night. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. But regardless of that, yeah, somebody told me that, you just went in one day and asked for the job.
Actually, they asked me. I didn't ask.
That you were a fucking savage already.
Yeah.
You didn't really need to make the move. But you made the move, which impressed the fuck out of a guy like me, because this whole thing is about balls, this whole business. It's you releasing who the fuck you are and going for it. If you want it, this is how you got to get it. And it seems to me that you want it.
Yeah, I don't
and
want
you
it.
started getting it. All of a sudden, you started opening for a couple of big names. You were on the road, so I want to let people know who the fuck Carmen Morales is. Who the
Well, I
fuck
thank
are you?
you. That
the
makes me
fuck
feel
are
real
you?
pretty. You know what I mean?
No, it shouldn't make you feel pretty. I'm
well, it's
not
like
doing
what-
no Harvey Weinstein shit here.
No.
I'm just
Hey,
talking to you from the
relax.
heart.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, not that.
Next
but
thing you know, I'm in court with Benjamin Braffman. Fucking Carmen Morales said during the podcast.
He's
bullshit.
free.
They film everything now. We're
Yeah,
fine.
no.
Nobody knows nothing bad happened. But I'm just saying, like, that it may feel pretty, like, you feels good because like that's one of the things that motivates me is like some people like it's money, the fame. Like mine was the respect. I wanted the best people to think that I was good too. You know,
How important is that to you?
it's the most important. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why I don't give a fuck that I'm not rich or that I'm not famous or whatever because I'm never gonna not do this and I'm never gonna not try and be good at it. So it doesn't matter. I don't give a shit.
Do you see people who want to be rich and famous and come out here and fail?
Of
How
course.
many of those people have you seen?
And there's a ton of those.
That they get in those for the wrong reason instead of loving what the fuck they're doing and let the money come later. The most important thing about an art is you releasing what the fuck you want to do. You know what, man? I'm sick and fucking tired of going and working at that funeral parlor. I want to make shoes. What?
I actually thought we were recording at a funeral parlor because you're right next door to one,
Yeah,
and I
we're
was
right
like,
across the
"Oh
street.
shit!"
Right
I see
across
this
the
hearse
street.
pull out, and I was like, "Is this where we're talking?"
Every podcast has their stick now. So, what? Because I told you when you came in that I just finished a year. Like, what was your process like for trying to get people to bring you on the road? Because you've been doing it for a while.
I grew up in a different time. Like I'm old enough in comedy. I grew up and that wasn't a thing. You had to just do it yourself. I knew guys that worked the road.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah, sure.
That was a horrific question.
I'm sorry.
Because you, at a year, are not looking for anybody to bring you on
Oh
the
no,
road.
I was just saying like
You,
for
at
young
your
comics.
level, should be getting ready to get on buses and do feature work all around Texas.
But
You
that's
did
what I'm
that
saying.
first. I don't-
These kids
they
don't
don't
they won't-
know. They don't know.
They don't go out and feature. You don't have to
nobody's
have
gonna
somebody
up.
bring
Nobody's
you.
gonna bring you on the road.
Oh, okay.
You have to go out there now for 2 or 3 years and bang it out.
Okay.
Bang it out.
So you go and get feature gigs separate of the headliner, or you just go and get?
Yeah, you can just go ask them for
Yeah.
feature work.
Okay. See, I don't. That's why I asked the
you
question.
Go to
I don't
clubs.
know.
You have to go to clubs.
I'm not ready to even feature. I'm just
when
looking
you
for
go to
hosting.
a club with me and I take you, you have to build a relationship. It's not. That's why I always say to you, tip. Shut your fucking mouth. Don't ask for tea. You know. Don't
Grab
this.
nobody's ass.
Don't grab nobody. There's certain things you got to do. That's a protocol. How do I know? Because I did them, and I failed at some things, and some clubs didn't.
Did
bring
you
me
fuck the
back.
wait staff? That's the number one rule,
listen,
Joey.
it's not
Come
fucking-
on.
In those days, I was into drugs. So drugs. I was thinking about
So you hung out with the kitchen staff a lot.
a lot. I was thinking about a night right after The Longest Yard came out, and I would, at that time, I would sell 90 tickets, 78 tickets, and I had a gig in Ontario on Wednesday and Thursday. They let me headline 2 shows. They were paying me good money. Finally, the Improv
Nice.
with The Rock,
Yeah.
who I love. I've always loved it. Give me a ton of work over the years. And they gave me a hotel room because I had to do radio next day. And I'll never forget that I went to Ontario, checked into the hotel room. I tried to put the TV on, and I had to do a line of coke. And I didn't know anybody. in
Before
Ontario.
radio?
That night, here I am. I just finished getting to fucking Ontario. I'm in the hotel room at night. I got radio at 6 in the fucking morning. But it's 8 o'clock at night, and I'm craving cocaine. By 9 o'clock, I didn't know who to call. So I got back in the car and drove all the way back to Hollywood. Got a gram of coke and drove all the way back to the hotel in Ontario. And I snorted coke till 5 and blew off the radio.
You blew it off. The
Blew
whole
it
reason
off.
you're there?
And the Improvs were pissed. I mean, fucking furious pissed. Like, that was the last time they even took my calls for like a year.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit.
Like, that type of shit I used to do. Like, that was mine. This is 2006, 2005, when I was just out of my rocker.
But that's the thing is it's because of comics like you guys that fuck everything up, and then we end up with no hotel room or no, we don't let comics drink anymore because they get all fucked up
Yeah,
and
but
don't do it.
I never fucked up a hotel room. And
Okay.
I never did drinking at the bar.
You never drank after the shows?
No, there was only 2 clubs in the country where I hung out at the bar. The Houston Last Stop and the Miami Improv. The other clubs I went to, like I went to Miami, and it was a fucking party every night. Coconut Grove. And then I went to Cleveland. And they couldn't wait to get rid of the customers. like Cleveland's Improv at that time, like they had a line pointing you to the fucking door.
Get out.
And here you are at the bar looking for a package, maybe get a piece of ass.
Yeah.
They would hush them out. Where in Miami, they let you hang out. There was a pool table. You got to meet.
Yeah, they held that
people.
whole separate bar area.
They had. This is the old Miami. This is 99, 2000, 2001 on the third floor in a mall across from a Wet Willie's. You know what Wet Willie's are?
Yeah.
Those frozen
Yeah,
drinks.
yeah.
Then they have the one that's 140 proof. They call a cab.
Yeah.
But the whole mall got them. I cannot describe. Like, I think I told it on Monday's podcast that I called Rogan on Saturday. And we talked about, I was talking about Chris something. He owns the Atlanta Punchline. And he's also, what's the chubby kid from Mike and Molly? Billy Gardell's manager, Chris DePetta.
Yeah.
Chris DePetta is a good guy. When I first got here, Chris DePetta helped me a lot. And I was just thinking about this the other day as I was fucking putting earplugs in my ear, getting ready to go in the shower. I was thinking about Chris DePetta, how he owned this, he owned the Atlanta Punchline, but he also managed whatever. He would come out here, but his real life was in Atlanta. He had kids and the whole thing. So he owned the Punchline. And I remember one specific weekend where Rogan took me and Ari to open for him. And Red Band was a kid, and Tate was Rogan's bodyguard. And Eddie Bravo would come along just to tag along so they could do jiu-jitsu at a gym. So it was like 6 of us on the road. And looking back at that, this has to be 2003, 2004, 2002. And we did a video still on there about me calling Duncan and threatening him, telling him he's a devil worshiper. Have you ever seen that clip on YouTube? It's old. It's me calling Duncan and telling him to stop hanging out with devil worshippers because they're going to fuck him in the ass. At that time, it was all of us going out every weekend.
Right.
It was me, Rogan, Ari, Duncan, Red Band. Red Band would just tape, film. So and then they would call it the Joe Show. And it was Joe Rogan's show, and it was us on the road every weekend. But anyway, to get back to the point, I still remember being outside that parking lot and making that tape with Red Band and hanging up and laughing my ass off. And I was up on stage that night, and I was talking about fucking or sucking or something, and some lady with a southern drawl said, "Who the fuck would fuck you?" And Rogan was back there, and he heard it, made a joke about it. But at that moment in the shower, it came to me that was as good as it was for me in comedy. Like those times, we were crazy. Like I still remember hated going to the Atlanta Punchline because it was an hour from the airport. And we used to fly on Monday mornings then. That was the first couple of times Rogan took those Sunday shows. And Monday morning traffic with a flight late, delayed, you wouldn't land in LAX till 6 at night. And that's why I said no more Sundays.
Oh, you don't do Sundays?
No. I don't fly on Monday
Why?
because it's the busiest day of the week. I don't want to be caught in that. There's no need for it. And for years, I played to Sunday audiences who hated me more than I hated them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sunday, you're miserable. You wake up, your girlfriend calls you, she's going to a parent's house for a cookout, and here you are in bumfuck in a Motel 6 that the TV don't work. It smells like curry in the fucking hallways.
Who books that?
Who the fuck knows? You know, these are the gigs you take as you're developing over the years.
For sure.
You know, you don't know till you get there. I can't imagine now in the world of, what's that shit where you stay at people's houses?
Airbnb?
If I was a comedy club, I'd Airbnb comics.
Well, there's a difference. You can at least get a whole apartment, putting me in a room with at someone else's house.
They'll put you in a room in somebody else's house.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, we used to have to sometimes stay with like the wait staff, or I can't tell you how many times I've slept in the extra room where the manager lives. Like, And it's like, you know, you can't even give us our own box. You can't give us a little box or a shitty hotel. I'd even take the Curry Hotel you're talking about.
Yeah.
The motel. I'd rather take that. It's pretty much $60 everywhere in the country for a Motel 6. And I'd rather have that than like have to stay at somebody else's house.
Yeah, that creeps me out. I'm a guy. I would never, I think I would sleep in my car instead. Like that, that sounds creepy as fuck.
That's part of this whole fucking thing. Is that how much you sacrifice? You know, I think when I don't know if you rephrased it the right way or whatever. Somebody takes you on the road when they see something in you. Like that girl started taking you on the road. I forget her name. The real funny blonde.
Oh, Maria Bamford?
Maria started taking you on the road. She saw you one night, thought you were something different in front of her, and she's a comic.
Yeah.
She knows how her audience is going to react to you. I know what my audience, the people who come in, are going to react to. I already know.
You have some of the best audience members, too.
Yeah, because we're sincere.
Yeah.
They listen to podcasts. They're very respectful. They understand the art of comedy. They've heard what we go through in the process. They apply the principles that we use to their own lives as fucking whatever they are, artists or graphic designers or architects. That takes a certain discipline. You know, I love when comics come on here and have stories, especially a fucking woman, especially a Latin woman who's doing comedy. Let's pretend we just erased the Latin woman. You're just a comedian. You're just one of us. Mm-hmm. You just have a dick, but you tie it up. You know what I'm saying?
I tuck it. I don't tie it up. I push it to the side.
And I tell any woman who...
See, a small dick.
I tell any woman who comes on the podcast...
It's really like a 5-inch clit. You know what I mean? Just like a really long clit.
I tell any woman...
You ever smack a guy on the face with your clit? It's so fun.
No. It's weird how... I respect women comics a lot because I know what the fuck they go through. Like, I was here 20 years ago when there was a guy that hung out in a van and these girls would hang out with him and they were female comics. Those girls are long gone because it was a party atmosphere.
Sure.
Like, it was a party atmosphere that was really supposed to be a comedic atmosphere. But so I've seen people come and go. And your story, like, you're on your way. Like, I always like to pluck people and put them on the podcast when they're on their way. When you could see that, not today, it may not be in 5 years, but it may be in 7 years. Or it could be
I ain't going anywhere,
years,
so.
Or it could be tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
You just have all the tools for that to happen, which is good. You know what I'm saying? That's a great thing. So I wanted the world to discover who the fuck Carmen Morales was without telling me about you.
I wasn't even just meaning it like they're all...
Disgusting fucking clit. If you have a 5-inch clit, I don't want to see it. You understand me?
Why not? It'd be funny.
It's disgusting.
It's funny.
When your curtains
Oh, but it's fine for you guys to slap a bitch with your dick. I can't slap a guy with my clit. Why not?
Listen, I haven't slapped a woman with my dick, and it's got to be 30 years.
So what? You still did it.
But that was a long time ago. You can't hold it against me. There's no statute of limitations about.
I'm not holding it against you. I'm just saying I can do the same fucking thing. It's a woman's world now, my friend.
When a chick is sucking your horn and you pop it out of their mouth and hit them in the face with it, then put it back in their mouth like a fucking yum-yum stick.
Like a little yum-yum.
Women love all those.
Like a little golf swing.
What do you think, cocksucker? You had one of them?
No, I've never smacked a girl in the face. That's crazy.
Come on.
You whip that dick out. They're focused on the dick. You can see it. It's like that last dick they're going to suck. And once they close their eyes, it's all time. And you take it out. They don't even know what's happening. They don't even know what's happening. They're still in the air like sucking something. And all of a sudden you just fucking whip them in the face right here. With your dick through time. And then they don't even know what's going on. They start looking around. And then you put it right in their mouth, and they go right back into the rhythm. And then
they start humming too, so it adds like a nice little vibration. Because they're trying to yell at you, but there's a dick in their mouth.
And then you ask them, you like when I hit you in the face with that fucking, with that steer of death, don't you?
Yeah, so why can't I do that with my clit? What's wrong with that? Except I jam it up their nose too sometimes, just to be funny.
Disgusting. That's disgusting. Because people are going to contact you and want pictures of your clit now. How long have you, and where'd you start? Orlando?
Orlando, Florida.
Is that where you're from? Mm-hmm. Originally? Mm-hmm.
One of the few people that are actually born there.
A lot of fucking, I did not know Orlando was filled with that many fucking Puerto Ricans.
I'm not Puerto Rican, but there is a ton of them.
There's a ton of them there. I did not know that. Years ago, I played.
What made you think about the Puerto Ricans?
Because there's tons of them there. When you go to Orlando,
that's where they keep them.
how far is Tampa from Orlando?
Like an hour?
Yes. So I did Tampa, Orlando for a Spanish woman. Her son was a boxer, and she would
the Camachos.
I don't know. She would book rooms.
Yeah. I did a couple of those rooms.
She tried booking rooms. That was one of the saddest nights of my life.
Why? Tell me. What happened?
Puerto Ricans don't like you?
This was the Facebook. This was the MySpace days. And I was writing a blog. And I don't know what she was thinking. She hits me up on MySpace, and she, very nice lady, real attractive. Mm-hmm. Attractive. Older, you know. Well, she was younger than me at the time, but whatever. She asked me if I wanted to come, that she was a promoter, and what was my fee. And I asked her for like a low number.
How much? What was your fee back then?
I think I asked her for $750 a show.
For each show?
Yeah.
How many shows?
One show.
Just one show each night in each
show
place?
Each night, yeah.
Okay.
And a plane ticket. And a hotel to pick me up at the airport. Mm-hmm. And she was like, no problem. Okay. So I fly down there the first night. We do tons of fucking radio Friday morning. Spanish, black, white. This is a long fucking time ago. You know, reggaeton. I mean, it was horrible. Yeah. It was horrible. I did a ton of radio. And the first night, we got about 100 people in Orlando, maybe. Then the next day, I had to go to Tampa. And I remember going to the hotel and walking around, and I couldn't believe how many fucking New Yorkers were in Tampa. Like,
New York and Ohio, they all go there.
Oh, my God. Mm-hmm. Everything is New York City based. Mm-hmm. I'm walking down the block.
New York pizza.
Everything was New York, and they really are from New York, and they really are who they say they are.
Yeah.
I mean, the pizzas, everything. In Tampa, those people down there, I remember walking and seeing a yellow and blue umbrella and going, am I fucking hallucinating? There's sad bread hot dogs in Tampa.
Oh, yeah.
And I walked up to the guy, and I go, how you doing? Are these really sad breads? The guy's like, yeah. I'm a retired fireman. I moved down here after I retired, and I saw hot dogs. And he had the onions, the bun, the
and here's, you know what the trick is they boil them, and you put a little bit of red wine vinegar in the water, and that's what makes them all extra sabretti. That's what it is.
Fucking sad
so
breads are
good.
delicious. Mm-hmm. And the guy told me, he goes, you know, that's where the Yankees have their
spring training.
So it's like everybody's from New York down there. I did not know it. So we get to Tampa, and it's tonight. Somebody's fighting in the UFC. I know, you know who it was for sure? The guy we had on years ago that he showed up on a Monday night, and we had somebody else there. He fought Anderson Silva, beat him up. He's from Ohio. Anderson Silva beat him up 2 times. He was the world champion. This is how long ago it was. He was fighting somebody else. We must have had 16 people at that show.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
She still pay you?
And she came up to me. This is one of the hardest things I ever had to do in my life. Because by that time, I had it with those type of promoters.
Yeah.
The night of the show, they pull you aside and go, let me holler at you for a second.
That's always when you know you're
Okay.
it's gonna be some
people,
bullshit.
Think about if I offer you a job, Joey, I'm going to be your graphic designer. You're going to get 40 hours every week at $30 an hour. And every week I pull you aside and go, hey, man, I know you worked 40 hours, but I'm only going to pay you for 20. You know what? It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable at any level.
No, it's fucking ridiculous.
It's fucking ridiculous. and they're all making money. Like I worked, what led into this situation, not to let anybody or Carmen or Lee to judge me in the wrong way, was I got involved for 3 years with just bad promoters. Like I went from one to another. It's the luck of the draw in comedy. We're all whores at that point. We need money and we want to do big venues and we want to get better at comedy.
Yeah, sure.
So when you dedicate yourself to the road, Rich Franklin. So Rich Franklin was fighting. But to lead up to this, I got involved with the Latino Nights of Comedy. Mm-hmm. He says he was the promoter of Earth, Wind, and Fire. He had this long resume. He'd call you on the phone and give you an ear beating.
Oh, jeez.
I took 3 beatings from him. 3 beatings. The first one was, I understood, let me holler at you. Listen, I can't give you the 500, I promised you. I'm only going to be able to give you 300, but I brought you a little bag of reefer just to let you know I'm in your corner, you know. And after a while, you get people, think of people doing that to you every week. Then the second time I worked for him,
at some point, it's like you're insulting my intelligence at this point.
oh my
you know?
God. Then the second time I worked for him, there was something else that was fucked up. He did something with the plane tickets. So we had to take a bus, and it was all night long. And then the third time I worked for him, I got 3/4 of the money. But at 3 a.m, my door was knocking. He had ran out on the tab on the radio station. The police were there.
Wow.
The manager of the venue. And the ad people were waiting for their fucking money. And that's when I said I can't work for him. No more.
Yeah, if they're not getting their money, what makes you think he's ever going to give you your fucking money?
And then I had this white dude out of like some part of Texas that every time I'd work for him, there was always a story. Mm-hmm. And I'd mix it up with other work. Like, you know when it's too late to cancel that on me?
Yeah, because you have a whole
like,
run
it's too
set up.
late.
There's too much stuff on both sides.
Yeah. Like, he would always call you a week before the run. Hey, I switched the gig from Friday to Saturday. You did what?
I can't.
Yeah,
what do you want me to do?
Yeah, there's a barbecue on Friday, so nobody will come to the comedy show. You know, a week before the fucking show. There was one of those guys. So I went through all this shit. Mm-hmm. This is the shit that you have to go through in order to get to people to pay you in clubs. You have to work those shittier rooms for a long fucking time.
I mean, there are ways to not have to do that if you grow up in a scene like Miami or like a scene that has an A club. A lot of times they don't go through those, and a lot of those comics don't end up being good because of it. Because when you're battling, people wanting to watch the MMA fight or wanting to, when you're interrupting people's seafood dinner that they didn't know a fucking comedy show was about to happen. Once you figure out how to still make that work, then you're completely and utterly unstoppable because you've gone through everything. What do you think? You think 4 people is going to stop me from performing incredibly well? No, let me show you how I can dazzle 4 motherfuckers who are completely uninterested.
What time do you usually go up at the store?
Now I do all the opening sets, so it's super early. Okay. So I bite the bullet all the time.
Good. Mm-hmm. What do you think of those opening spots?
Look, here's the thing, Joey. I'm charming as fuck, okay? And people like that. So it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I also don't hate people like everybody does. Like, it's supposed to be cool as a comedian to hate people. I don't hate people. I mean, I hate people. I hate things that people do. But they're all just, we're all just fucking trying, right? Until we're dead.
Yeah. No. This is what you do. I mean, there's no giving up. Once you join the family, there's no turning back. I can't see you on Facebook in 10 years selling real estate.
No. No, you kidding me? This mouth doesn't work well with an HR department.
And I've seen a lot of that lately, and it saddened me, and it gives me a chance to pat myself on the back because I stuck with something. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that motivate me that I can't talk about in public because people get their feelings hurt. There's like this shit I like that I couldn't do as a comic, but that's my decisions.
What do you mean, like what? What can't you do? You can do anything. That's why it's the greatest art form, right?
Well, I don't mean like that.
Oh.
Like just things I wouldn't do anymore because of how I like to work things.
Okay.
Like I couldn't see myself at that position right now after all the work I put in. So when I see those guys in that position, I kind of pat myself on the shoulder for sticking with it.
Sure.
There's a lot of people right now that are funnier than I am that are back home and they're not doing what they love because they gave up on this place. They have excuses. They point their fingers at you, at other comics, and say we're gay or whatever the fuck. Whatever. But the only way to make it in LA is to be gay. All this dumb
Is that all you got to do? Dude, you should have told me that when I first
if
got
I knew
here.
about Harvey Weinstein, I would have sucked this dick 10 years ago. I would have sucked this dick
For a $43 million deal?
Yeah, for whatever. It's, but not really. See, and that's what I admire about you, that you have been doing comedy for 12 years, and one day you walk into the comedy store and accept a job as a door girl, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
It was strange. What was strange to me about that is everybody else's reactions to it. Because it was like, some people were like, I can't believe you took that job. Like, you're above that job. And some people were like, I don't know if that's a good move. Like, you work the road and stuff. Like, everybody was just like feeling all this apprehension for me. And I was like, well, yeah, I don't know. But if it doesn't work out, then it just doesn't work out.
Are they cool with you working the road?
Yeah. I mean, that was my only stipulation because they asked me, and they told me it was like the quickest way for me to kind of get through that whole passing system. And I said, well, as long as I was like, well, the only way I make money is through stand-up. I don't have a job or anything like that. So as long as this doesn't stop me from working the road at all, then it's fine. And they've been really cool. Like, I was just gone for almost 2 months and they were good. They were cool. And then I came back for 2 weeks and then was gone again. Like, they're awesome. I mean, they know, and I worked. They're incredible people too. Like, they also believe in me too. Like, and I am very honest with them. I'm like, I'm not going to try to fuck you over. When I'm here, I'll do my job.
It's a very, very positive place.
It's really great.
It's really become a very, very no arguing, no more hassles. Everybody really gets along with each other. Nobody runs the clock and does 3 hours no more.
Yeah.
It's become.
Well, except for Chappelle, but that's fine.
No. Was he there last night? Did he stay? As I was walking out, he was
I didn't
walking
see.
in.
I didn't see if he was.
Yeah.
He went up last night.
Did he?
Yeah.
In
But
the
like
original-
he went up a month ago and was there till like 5 a.m.
Wow.
But they also expect that from him too. You know what I mean? It's also
I'm not mad at Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle. You know
Dave Chappelle.
exactly.
And he's not doing it every night,
No.
which would be
That would be,
that must be frustrating. And because Joey was great, and I got to do a set at the open mic or friends and family this week, and he didn't. He did. I think he did less than 15 minutes, but I had never like seen anything get bumped, or I guess it's not even really a bump. It was just a drop in from like Todd Barry came and did the room, and it was cool to after seeing like 23-minute sets to see like a guy who's a professional going and like how he can work the same audience and how they were quiet before and now they're laughing. It was. I went up a lot later. It was fun.
It's really weird to see when somebody figures out the puzzle. It's a beautiful thing to see when there's 10 comics and out of the 10 comics on an open mic, 8 of them eat it.
Yeah.
And 2 of them do okay. They get a couple laughs. And then a guy that's been doing comedy 15, 20 years walks up there and just levels the room.
I love doing that. I know that sounds so braggadocious, but I love that. I love when it's just a string of nothing, just passing the baton of cock, and then you just watch and just go, "Oh, you guys just haven't been fucked right." Like, it's just one of those things.
It really is.
And you go
By
up there.
sitting there and watching the audience, you're watching each comic dig a hole.
Yeah.
And you just avoid all those landmines. You're like, I'm just going to avoid those landmines, and I'm going to attack them this way. And you level them, and you come off the stage. And they look at you and they go, what the? They touch you like Jesus. They're like, what the fuck did you just do? Nothing, dog. It's what I do.
But what's even funnier is when you do that and you go up and you're like, oh, I got this. And you go up there and then you eat a big fat dick too.
Oh.
That humbling experience, the exact opposite that happens where you're like, am I even a comic? Do I even do this right? You know?
I started eating a dick last night in the main room. In the original room, I had them, but I really didn't. But none of that stuff bothers me at the comedy store.
Right.
Like, it doesn't affect me. It's just the cost of doing business. When I go to the comedy store, even at this level now, and I still eat a bag of dick, like last night I closed with an old joke. The cat's snorting coke.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, that means I'm dying. When you hear that joke, that means I'm dying. That doesn't mean I'm dying. It means that
tried everything?
either I got so high I forgot my material, which happened.
You gotta go to the vault.
I get back into the main room and fucking Gino's back there with speed weed, and right away he gives me a blunt, and I smoke it, and nobody wants to smoke. So I'm sitting there. I'm
just
down to a half. I smoked the whole thing by myself. By the time I got up there, I forgot everything. I tried new shit. Mm-hmm. I wanted to try some new shit, and it's just not clicking. They don't see me as a dad. The audience does not see me as a dad.
Why?
I can't sell that quality. I can sell uncle, but I can't sell the dad. They laugh at the jokes, but then they go back. Uncle Joey jokes, they go with. It's very weird.
Well, you should remind them that sometimes uncles are dads too, motherfucker.
It's really weird. So I've been trying this new material out just to, hey, listen, you got to change it up constantly. You have to evolve as a human, as a comic, as an electrician, as an artist, as a fucking painter. You just can't keep painting dicks or 5-inch clits every day. I'm going to draw a different 5-inch clit from a different perspective. After a couple of weeks, somebody's coming up to you and saying,
That's what that Japanese artist did at the 50 views of Mount Fuji.
What did he do?
It was like he did 50 different views of the same mountain.
Brilliant.
And all the...
Brilliant.
But I get what you're
You
saying.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
Especially at the store. Every time you show up, you have to show up with a different gun.
I do feel that way. Like
I know you.
Like I have to do a different set every time I go
There's
up.
some nights
regardless
you
of
gotta
whether
show up
people
like John Wick.
Yeah.
You got to show up with 20 weapons like John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some nights I just don't care. I'm just so happy to be there. Like by the time I got to the original room last night, it was like I had done a fucking hit of heroin.
Yeah.
I was very
You were nodding
relaxed. No, I wasn't nodding off. But my pace was very slow, and then I'd bang them, but it was very slow. But in the main room, I had to come out like a gorilla. I had to come out swinging in the main room for my life. And it's just a different feeling.
Wait, swinging in the main room or the original room?
In the main room, I came out swinging for my life.
Okay.
That's how I
Like
feel.
out of the first round. In the original room, I just sat back in the pocket and smacked them around a little bit.
See,
Took my time.
if you were going to ask me that question before, I would have reversed it. I thought you were always a lot more aggressive in the original room.
But last night, I went up last in the main room.
Oh.
So the positioning, where you're at, all these things matter. I didn't know. They told me
They
I was
already
going
just
up
saw
at
a stellar
8:45.
show.
Yeah, they told me they were going up at 8:45. When I got there, they said no, they had to switch the schedule. So if I was where I was supposed to stay, my energy would have been different.
Oh, okay.
Where I went as the closer of the show, I had to go out there as an animal. That's the mindset. So I didn't write this. This is the years of doing it. Mm-hmm. This is years of going through the fucking process.
Yeah, you don't want the show to end like as a bummer. And if they just saw an incredible, because that's the other thing too, is different if it's a bunch of people eating dicks, but this is the main room of the Comedy Store. There's a ton of great comedians that just went up. If you have to go at the end, you have to dazzle them. You can't just go up there and be like, so what else about me? Like, you have to fucking close the show.
But you also have to think of who you are and what you are. I don't ever want you to forget who you are because everybody else is having a bad set. So you're going to go up there and try to be, no. I've always gone up there. For years, I went up there with that attitude at the store. I was never competitive. I was just like do or die situation because I thought,
Yeah, you got to survive.
I never knew if it was going to be my last spot. Mm-hmm. When I got to the store, they told me Mitzi has the place wired. She hears every set at home. She watches everything. And fucking the first weekend I'm there, she put me in the original room and the main room. And sure enough, I saw her that Monday and she goes, you had a hard time in the main room Saturday night. And then I jumped on her and said, I don't ever want to go back in there. I told her, I don't ever want to go back
That's
in
crazy.
there.
I don't like the main room as much
Let
either.
me stay here.
Yeah.
And let me just do original room spots and we'll stay friends. And she was like, oh no, I'm putting you back in there next week. And that went on for a year. And yeah, I made money because in those days, those spots would pay $450. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it was 20 minutes of horror. Like, if you see it and all these scary movies, you have no idea.
Yeah.
You have no, it was 20 minutes of horror.
I'll take a killer clown any day.
At 12:20. Okay, when there's about 84 people in there.
Yeah.
Like that type of shit.
When it just starts getting real depressing.
Yeah. And, you know, that's where you start from. That's the whole thing. But, again, that's as good as it gets. The reason why I go into the original room and lay it out like that isn't because I just woke up one day or somebody took me out on the road. No. It was all that shit I chiseled off. Like, I have these shows in Buffalo, and I know they're going to be buck wild. And I'm just dabbing with the idea of bringing Lee and just throwing him out there to the wolves. Because they're coming from Canada, and I want to see him throw bottles at him and shit.
Don't give him ideas. Don't throw bottles at me, please.
Oh, please. I'm dabbing with it. I don't know for sure.
Jesus Christ.
This girl's supposed to be featuring for me up there, but if something happens, I'm going to have to call you in to throw you to the wolves.
Okay.
In Buffalo, just to see where I got thrown to.
He's got to learn how to swim somewhere. He's either going to drown or he's going to...
I have had a glimpse at it this year. Like, I did a show when the knockout of the year was happening, like, right behind me. But it's crazy how the audience really does matter. Like, I noticed that because I just did the main room a week or two ago, and then I did the original room the other night. But the main room was more comedy fans. Like, there were podcast people, and there were comedy fans. And the original room was, like, people who go to the open mic. It was an interesting how the art, like, some of the same material they reacted to differently because of what kind of audience they were.
Oh, I don't look at it that way. They're all fucking audiences. They're all the same. They're all the same. Don't start categorizing.
But that's what I was talking about your fans. Not so much that they appreciate comedy, but also that they're good laughers. Like, whenever people, like, and I'll ask people in line and stuff like that, who are you here to see? And when they're there for you, that room, it just vibrates.
They're stoned.
Yeah.
They're stoned.
Is that what it is?
They're stoned. They're stoned. They're excited. They know I'm excited. You know, I start sending the signals out about 5 o'clock.
Your smoke signals?
I start sending signals out to the troops, letting them know, bitch, I hope you're getting ready because I am. You know? I already went to the gym. I just ordered salmon. I rolled a joint. I'm going to go downstairs after room service and smoke a fucking doob.
Do you realize how cool that would be if other people could get that as their jobs? If, like, people could get that excited about them? Like, you never see, like, a bunch of people, like, just outside of a surgeon's office, like, dude, I can't wait till you fucking just cut open my chest. Just get real jazzed about it. I think people would do their jobs better if they had more cheerleaders. Like, if they had more actual fans.
I think people start off liking their job. Everybody starts off liking your job, you know, especially if you go to college and you went for that specialized thing. Everybody starts, you know, we love comedy.
Yeah.
We love comedy.
Do you think that's what one of the things that people are attracted to us by is that we love the thing so much?
We love comedy.
Yeah.
What makes comedy hard? Answer me. Any of you. What makes comedy hard?
Us. We make it hard.
No.
The business side?
The business side.
Yeah, but that's the us part.
When we're on stage, all this was about was us doing comedy. This is all this about. When you first get up on stage, D.L. Hughley was at the store last night, and I looked at him and I'm like, I still remember him blowing up Def Jam off an MC spot, getting a standing ovation, and that had to be over 20 years ago. When he was hosting Def Jam, he took it from Martin for a while. Martin Lawrence quit or something. I don't know what the deal was. I saw him get a standing ovation as an MC on HB fucking O.
Wow.
If he was that good then, how deadly and calculated is he today? That was pure energy off an MC spot. That was always my dream. That's the reason why when I went to the store, see, a little secret that a lot of people don't know is I had already become a regular. And I was already hosting on Sunday nights. But they said they needed a doorman on Sunday nights. So I went to Mitzi. I go, Mitzi, how about I work the door from 7 to 10? And then at 10 I host. And while I do my 15 minutes, I have somebody work the door. And then when I get off stage, in between sets, I just have somebody watch the back door. She goes, done. But she was never there on Sundays. So I scammed it out. I farmed it out.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, you have to do this to people because at that time, the store had this overflow of comics. It doesn't have it anymore. Like, you don't see that at all anymore. But there was a time when there was an overflow of comics that would go up to the mingle on any given night, especially if the rumor got out that Mitzi was going to be up there during the week. So a lot of old-time comics and comics would show up there, like those hallways that you see now, that's all people. When I got to the store, that was all comics, waiting for Mitzi to come up there so they could torment her.
Oh, to
How
beg
come I
her
don't
for
get
shit.
spots no more? Mitzi, we love you. Can we get you a soda? So there was all those people up there, and they were haters.
Ugh, that's so gross.
So what they would do is, in those days at 12 o'clock, somebody would come out, and they would put a list out. And those first 20 people would sign up. And those were regulars who didn't get spots. So it would be a bunch of regulars who didn't get spots. So what I would do is, like, the reason why they weren't getting spots, it was because they just didn't cut it.
Yeah.
I knew this from the grapevine. You
Yeah.
know, that this guy bombed too much. This guy bombed in front of Mitzi. You hear about it, you know.
Yeah.
So you saw that list. I would see the list and go, oh, this is like 6 bombs in a row. And there's 100 people in there. They
Yeah.
can't take it.
Yeah.
I didn't do this for myself for personal reasons. I did this so there could be a longer show.
Right. So they didn't walk everybody.
These comics that would sign up, the first 20, were comics that were disgruntled. They were pissed off. They were angry. They were jealous. And I don't blame them. I'm not mad at anybody. I would never want to be in that position myself. At that position, I had nothing. In those years, I had nothing. But I wasn't as disgruntled as they were.
Right.
At least I had the Sunday night hosting spot at 10 o'clock. That was a cool fucking spot to have. Okay, so it would be the open mic, friends and neighbors, whatever the fuck program.
Friends and family.
And then they would slip a few regular door people in there.
Sure.
And then I would come up at 10 and do 10 minutes. So what I would do on Sunday nights was I would pace it out. The first Sunday I would call Paul Mooney. And go, Paul Mooney, I'm hosting tonight, bro. If you're there at 10:15, I'll put you on and you can do how much time you want to do. You get me?
Yeah, I got you.
And he'd say, okay, brother, I'll be down. And he'd get there, sure enough, 10 o'clock. I'd fucking get off stage to Paul Mooney so I can leave. So I would get up, go outside, get Don Barris, and go, Don, here's the list. You want to host the rest of the night? And the next day I would find out that Mooney did an hour. So by that time, it's Mooney. By the time Mooney got off, they lost 40 people, and those guys could get on stage. But those 20 comics would be back there fucking furious.
Of course.
Furious. And I would never say it was me. I would always go, what do you want me to do? Stop Paul Mooney from going on stage?
Yeah.
So I had a list. I had Mooney, Eddie Griffin, Rogan, Dice.
Oh, wow.
So I would rotate them. So every Sunday I would call them and say, hey, I know you're interested in doing an hour. Come on down and do your hour. I'm going to get off stage at 10:10. And they'd get there and I'd get off stage and bring them up. And I'd give Don Barris the paperwork. And I'd go buy a fucking gram of blow. And go in the bathroom and do it. And wait for fucking the guy that dressed up like Jesus Christ to come in. That he used to hate Jewish people. So he used to put his finger under his nose. And then he'd lock himself in the men's bathroom. And they'd kick the door down to get him out. Robert Epivaya. Every Sunday night I dealt with lunatics up there.
He's still there.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. He wears a green jacket.
Yes.
He goes on stage and he talks about, The
What
Nazi
does he look
conspiracy.
like now?
He looks old and crazy. I'm certain it's just as crazy as he did when you saw him. He's
They
just
told
old
me
now.
they accused me of lighting him on fire one night, which I wasn't even
I
here.
wish you had.
I was in Miami, and I got a call from the talent.
Sounds like something you might have done.
I was thinking about it, but I talked about it, and
I
somebody
think about
took
it
it
every
seriously
time I'm working, and he's
because it was a firebomb. What happened was he would lock himself in the men's bathroom right by the window there.
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't know how many times there was comics that actually put mirrors. There was one comic in particular with no names.
Sure.
In fact, I just saw him on Facebook. He's not a comic no more. He had a mirror in that bathroom, and you could see girls pissing and shit. So all you had to do is sit on the stairs and look at the mirror.
Oh wow.
This guy was a filthy animal. That's why he's not a comic no more. But
God.
we would always sit there and talk shit. In those days, what's his name? The guy that hosts that night, the Ding Dong show?
Yeah.
What's
Don
his name?
Barris.
Don Barris would torment Robert and Pavia. They would go at it so bad that Robert and Pavia would lock himself in the men's bathroom for hours. They'd have to bang on the door.
They still go at it.
No,
he calls him a racist pedophile.
Yes. So this is real. So one night I'm sitting there and I'm like, why doesn't somebody just light a fire and throw it into the window like toilet paper, put gasoline on it? Oh, I watched The Burning Bed once too many times and throw it in there. Well, fucking, do you know I'm out of town? A month later, somebody threw a toilet paper roll down a fire and he couldn't turn it off, and the toilet, something happened in the men's bathroom.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I get a call on a Monday that you set him on fire. I go, no, I'm in Miami.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
There was so much drama with him on Sunday nights. Like, it was craziness. I used to be there. I think I hosted 3 years on Sunday night.
You did not do that for 3 years.
Yes, I did. Every Sunday night.
Oh,
bang it out with gorillas, dog.
What do you mean? You did 10 minutes and left.
10, but I had to be there working the door
Oh, okay.
from 7 to 10. So I would hear all the chitter chatter and all the bullshit and all the, how come I can't go up number 3? I deserve it. Where's Mitzi? When is Mitzi coming down? When Mitzi comes down here, I'm going to straighten this problem out. Everybody had a story with Mitzi. Everybody had a fucking story. So I just got to the point where I would tell people, listen, I don't want to hear your fucking stories. The other day I was driving on Laurel Cane and I told him about this creepy guy that I'll put odds down that if I look that guy up, he molested somebody somewhere along the line. He was bald, he'd wear a long jacket, and he'd come up there and tell you about all the gigs he'd do. This is before the internet. I would never look him up. He'd drop names, and I'd let him go for about an hour, and I'd look at him and go, yeah, but you're not doing any spots here. And he would just crack. You would hear the and he would walk away.
I've done that to a few people.
Because he was so annoying on Sunday nights. Dog, I would get tormented.
Yeah, of course. Because you're the only one there, and so you're the only you're wearing the logo. So they just feel
No,
they
I
get
didn't have
unload.
to. I didn't have a t-shirt on. I would wear my own clothes.
But they would still
They
unload
would
all their
just-
shit
they
on
would
you.
Unload their shit on me, and it was every week. Then that other guy started bothering me. The one that they said I killed, the old man.
Oh, you killed one too?
No.
You set one on fire and
No,
you
no,
killed
no,
one?
no.
Man, they're
This
really
guy-
forgiving at the store.
This guy was a fucking old guy that was crazy. He was crazy, and he had his moments of being nice.
Mm-hmm.
But then by the end of the night, the medication would wear off, and it always ended with him marching off, throwing a bottle at the wall and saying a bunch of shit. This was mental health at its finest. I mean, we've seen mental health. This is when you go to an open mic in a small town. Like when you first start out, like when I started in Denver, I was just talking about the guy that was, what's his name, the man of 1,000 voices,
Yeah.
and he only heard 2. Everybody that was,
Yeah, he had one shitty voice.
you know, the day he had his tape recorder, and he was hitting his tape recorder. The guy bombed, and he was hitting his tape recorder, and he fucking kept selling. I go, what's the matter? He goes, this thing doesn't pick up the laughter. I mean, when you're that delusional. And then I moved to Seattle.
And?
And you should have seen the open micers up there on a Monday night. If there was 16 open micers, 6 of them could legally be declared. And I know 2 of them, I know One of them who killed himself from that crew, for sure. Another one who wanted to kill herself, for sure. That was when I learned that there was a problem in our community.
Oh, yeah.
And I started doubting who I was.
Why?
Because this is what you go through as a comic. When you reach, because I got thrown out of Denver, so I went to Seattle. And when I got to Seattle, Monday nights were Josh Wolf,
Okay.
Brody Stevens, Taina Manu, Mitch Hedberg, Chard Hogan, all these comics. But there was this one blonde comic that would come up every week with a handcuff on. And he would just go up there and fight for his life and then come off and explain the situation to you. I mean, I saw some shit when I lived in Seattle. I was working on open mic one night when a comic walked in. He was holding his side. And I go, what's up? And he goes, man, get me a towel. My wife just stabbed me. He was bleeding. Bro, that motherfucker wrapped himself up and went up on stage and did his 6 minutes and then went to the hospital. That's mental health issues right there. There was another guy that would go up on stage for 6
I
minutes.
miss that. That doesn't happen in
miss
open
that.
mics anymore.
No.
Now
You
it's
have
just
to go-
everybody's anxious and
Well,
depressed.
no,
It's
the
like, come
problem
on.
is-
Every 20
problem-
open mics.
Can we get a schizo in here every once in a while? Keep things interesting?
The problem is there's no open mic here like that because the stakes are different. Again, this is why I do not like this place because the stakes are different. An open mic in Houston, an open mic in Orlando, an open mic in Syracuse, an open mic in Michigan is a complete different open mic than you're going to see in Los Angeles.
That's true.
Okay, Los Angeles is a complete different, it's a different dream. It's a different thing. It's a different, and you start talking to people and you see that you're not really in love with comedy. You're in love with the dream of being a star. You think by coming down here 3 times a week, this is going to save you and change your life. It's a whole lifestyle that you have to adhere to. So I've seen them come and go, especially at the store. Guys that had way more talent, guys that wrote, you could tell that they wrote.
Yeah.
They just, the pressures of LA were just too much. The ups and downs, the whatever. That's because they never had the foundation. That foundation of not caring. See, when I do an open mic in Michigan, I'm not worried about the guy from APA being in the audience.
Yeah.
When I'm in an open mic in Michigan, the first 2 years, nobody talks to you about a headshot.
I don't give a shit. No, they're too busy
first 2
talking about
years,
dick jokes.
yeah.
Fucking porn
The first
titles.
2 years,
Yeah.
you're taking pictures of your license and giving them to people. That's my headshot. You know, the first 2 years, you're thinking your emphasis is on stand-up.
Right.
It's not about what ifs. That's what I don't like about LA. Because the stakes are different. You know, when you talk to people in San Francisco, they can't wait to come to LA because the stakes are different. But they have to stay in their hometown and build the foundation.
I tell that to people all the
And
time.
the foundation
Yeah.
to be safe is 6 to 8 years. Just to be safe at all angles. So I want you to come back and tell me about when you slept in your car, when you get to the hotel and all the rooms were checked out, when you had to share a room with the headliner and he lost a leg in Vietnam, so the whole night you had to stare at his leg hanging on the wall. You know, you have no idea.
Yeah.
It's not the stage part. It's the living through that daily struggle. That's what builds you up.
Well, and that's what makes other comics relate to you.
So by the time you get here, nothing could really bother you. Like, I got to sit here till 12:30.
All right.
I've done worse. I've had to sit outside a hotel overnight to wait to check in at 3. And you're in there at 3:01. How you doing?
Hi.
Joe Diaz. Yeah,
Hi.
checking in.
I'm one of the
Meanwhile,
comedians.
You've been in your car, stinking it up, farting, eating Subway sandwiches.
Fast food and flatulence.
Rolling roaches. Like you're just rolling roaches that are fucking in your car.
You're ripping them apart, trying to make them
Oh
enough
my
for a bowl.
God.
Yeah.
You got change in your fucking, I had a box of change. I'll never forget that change box. I was hidden under the front seat. And that was like going that, like I didn't know how much exact was in there. It had to be like $18. Like I still remember leaving Boulder for the road the first time. I had 2 licenses. Like, I thought I lost my license, and I got another one. And I'll never forget filling up the car and telling the guy I didn't have no cash. Here's my license. I'll be back in 5 minutes. And not paying for the gas. Just leaving my license. Like, I probably got a warrant in Boulder for $20 worth of gas for that now. But it's amazing. Well, that's the difference that people don't see. You know, before Bill Burr was Bill Burr, he had to get booed to death in Boston. Thousands and millions of people saw that video.
Philadelphia.
By that time, Philadelphia. By that time, Bill Burr had been doing comedy 15, 20 years already.
Yep.
And you're still getting booed at. That's what people don't realize. I've noticed the
Well, that's why it doesn't make sense for me when the young ones, they're like 2 years in and they want to move here. And I'm like, why would you want all this additional pressure? Like, it doesn't make any sense. You should go and fall in love with it for real and then come here and endure this. Because if you're not, if you come out here when you're half-assed into it.
Who would do this?
I don't understand.
Who would do this?
Why?
Who would? I remember times living when in '99 I had no brakes on my car. I could hear.
Oh, I've done that. I've done that. Where do you pull the e-brake?
Oh yeah, and
you pull the e-brake.
I would be on the 110 doing 90 with no brakes, no insurance, and no red registration. And I remember fucking braking and hearing the metal cheering. Oh my god! You know, going, when is this?
You feather the e-brake. You feather the e-brake.
When is this gonna end in my life? And that car got towed with everything I owned in it. Headshots, boxing gloves.
Mine was stolen. I had mine stolen. When I was living out of my car got stolen.
From where? In L.A.?
No, in Florida. I was in Florida. I was just coming back from being on the road. So and at the time I had like $10,000 worth of camera equipment. I started accruing camera equipment over the years too, because then I was taking pictures of people and shit. So I would just do people's headshots. That was another way I would make extra money on the road. I was always into a side scam. Like, I used to sell weed, I used to sell drugs, whatever, anything I could do so I didn't have to stop doing stand-up. Everything else was always just like a symptom of me being able to have enough money that I could keep doing stand-up. And then I came back and my car got stolen. They stole it to like commit a bunch of crimes in. And then, so I lost all my shit. I lost everything. I had all my clothes in there, all my toiletries. I had to buy a new toothbrush.
Why did you get into stand-up comedy? What made you fall in love with the art?
I was a fan of it when I was a little kid. Like the first one, Bill Cosby himself and like Gallagher was... I don't remember which one it was. The one where there was the big couch at the end, where he jumps on the couch and he pulls all the stuff everybody has in their couch or something like that. And then Robin Williams' Night at the Roxy. So then I just used to like, you know how like a lot of times little kids will want to watch Frozen over and over and over again. I just used to do that, but with stand-up specials.
And what made you finally decide to take the plunge? Did you tell your mom and dad?
No. I mean, I try to keep it from them for a long time. How old were you
when you got on stage?
22.
And you knew at that point, when you got on stage, this is what you wanted to do.
Well, I guess I didn't know at first because I did debate when I was in high school. I was a theater kid. I used to sing in choirs and shit. So I was in front of people, but I wasn't doing the thing that I wanted to do, which was the hardest one. So I was just scared of it. And then even like I used to sell timeshare over the phone, and even like my boss at that job was like, "What the fuck are you doing here? Like, you feel like you should be doing something else." And her next door neighbor was engaged to a comedian, and I didn't know you could just be a comedian. I didn't know you could just do it. So I just thought they handpick you because you were this brilliant, talented thing, and that was it. You just had to get discovered. I didn't know there were poor comedians, and then I was like, "Oh, I could be a poor comedian." So then I started going to open mics. I did that classic comedian deal where I was like, if I go up, if I get any laughs, I'll come back and do it. And I didn't write anything beforehand. It was all completely improvised. I just bullshit. I made up a whole story when I was on stage, and I got a laugh. So I came back.
Did you tell your mom and dad you were doing it at this point?
No. I didn't tell them for a while.
What'd they think when you first told them?
Well, I mean, my dad told me he would never support me if I went into the arts, but he told me that when I was a kid, so I didn't really care what he thought. But my mom was always she was always supportive.
What did your dad want you to be?
He wanted me to be, I think, an accountant.
Did you have sisters or brothers?
Yeah, I have a half sister.
Okay, so he wanted you to be an accountant. Why? Is he a fucking accountant?
No, he has an 8th grade. He went to school up to 8th grade and then stopped going to school.
Where?
Well, he started in Cuba and then he finished it in Jersey. He's a New Jersey Cuban guy.
From what part of Jersey did he tell
Union City.
you? Is he? So we know each other.
Maybe.
Yes.
He's probably like 10 or 15 years older than me.
56.
Yeah, he's probably like 10 years older than me.
Really?
Or maybe like 6 or 7.
Yeah, we know each other.
Yeah, maybe.
So he quit going to school in the 8th grade to get a job and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How was the upbringing? He loved you, but he was strict as fuck.
And insane. Yeah, he's like the unique kind of bipolar that changes really fast. So he was absolutely nuts.
What's bipolar mean? That he's angry one minute and happy another?
Or depressed and angry, yeah.
And what was he doing for a living at that time?
He was working at a bakery. He worked for the Merita bread factory in Orlando, and then he also worked for Eastbalt Bakery, which is like the factory that would make the buns for McDonald's.
No shit. Mm-hmm. Old school Cuban dude.
Yep.
And what does he do now?
Now he don't do shit. He's retired.
And you still talk to him? Mm-hmm. You tight with him?
I mean, I still fight with him. He likes to fight, so I fight with him.
Do you call him to try to rev him up? Sometimes
he calls me to try to rev me up.
That's great. That's what I do to my daughter. I rev her up all the time.
Yeah.
And she can't take it yet. Yes, she could. She could. That's what we do as Cuban dads. We push the envelope a little bit. It's tough being a Cuban dad. It's tough being a dad.
Is it?
Yeah, it's tough. There's a lot of shit to consider, especially now with everything that's happened the last couple of years. You have to adjust. I think there's always been no way to raise your daughter. And the girls I grew up with, a lot of the girls I grew up with, their parents did a good job. I'm looking at these girls, and I'm thinking back about going to their house as a kid and just being friends with them. Nothing sexual, going to their basement and partying, and how their dads were, and how their parents were. And I try to mimic their actions, because their daughters came out. Listen, they're not rocket scientists.
Right.
But they're not out there fucking sucking 20 dicks on a beanpole, upside down, singing daddy issues. They're all married. They have kids.
But a lot of times you can't control some of the shit that happens to your kids.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, my parents tried to protect. My dad was super strict, and I still ended up getting molested. He couldn't fucking change that because he didn't know what was happening from the inside of the family. You know what I mean? There's some shit that you as much as stricter as whatever that you want to try to do, sometimes you can't be there all the time. You know? So that's why you should just also have a good communication. Like, if I would have been comfortable, if I wouldn't have been scared of my dad, I would have been able to talk to him about some shit that happened to me, you know? But I didn't feel safe at home either because he was always so strict and so insane. So it's like, I think you have to be able to do both, you know?
I talk to my daughter a lot. I talked to her. I told my wife that she had it till she was 5, and then after 5, I got to take it down a long road, because that's what we do. You have to push your daughter a little bit just so she sees.
Absolutely.
And I write every day for her. I write a journal for her, so if something happens to me, she knows who the fuck I am. She doesn't have to hear it secondhand or anything like that. Just, I want her to be at peace as a woman. You know, I think I meet a lot of women in my business that aren't at peace. And they're chasing it for peace, and then they get married, have a kid, and there goes the career out the window. They don't do stand-up no more, or whatever the fuck they would do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just there's so many different reasons why people do stand-ups. But back to the mental health issue, that was scary when I got into comedy. Like, how many people were there with mental health issues, but you didn't have the balls to tell them. I would look at them and smile and say, God bless them. There, but for the grace of God go I. Let them think whatever they want to think. There was one in Seattle in particular that was a man, and she became a woman. And she was the ugliest thing you ever saw in your life.
Oh, like no effort?
Oh, my God. And if you saw her hands, you could tell she was a man. And they were big, creepy hands, and she would put nails on them. And it looked like this fucking animal. And she was 4'8", and she would wear heels, and she would wear a wig, and she would put makeup on. And they had done the whole thing. One of her jokes was, they cut my dick off and I have it in a jar at the house.
Oh my God.
I mean, there was mental health issues running there. Like the government at that time, she had more opiates than anybody.
Wow, yeah.
Like she had purses filled with pills, like, you know. And she kind of, like, she had diabetes, something. They told her not to drink. And she kept drinking, but her head was too big. Like when she was a man.
Her head was too big?
Yeah, because when you're a man and you become a woman, something happens. I don't know.
Oh, and they start taking like the hormones and stuff.
Her head got really big, so it would throw her balance off.
Oh, wow.
So there's times she'd be walking and she'd fall.
Like a Betty Boop? She'd just fall over?
So she'd go on stage at dance clubs and dance and have a couple drinks in her, and her balance would go and she'd fall on her head. Mm. And that's what she finally died of. She landed on a fucking coconut and went into a coma.
Oh, no.
And died. The kid Jeff,
She shouldn't have drank at a Margaritaville. Why would you drink at a place with coconuts?
I don't know. I didn't ask her. She just landed on her head and fucking went into a coma. And then fucking the kid that used to put the handcuff on, Jeff, whatever his fucking name is, he hung himself.
I worked with one of those lunatics from Seattle. He used to do this bit at the end where he would do a strip dance and end up in a thong. Did you ever work with that guy? And he was like, we worked together in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in a comedy club in the basement of a strip club. And he would go up there and he kept telling everybody that he was sober, but then he would go and get shithoused. And then I would have to take care of him. And I didn't fucking know that guy. I just met him. But the club's like, all right, here you go.
Is this club still open?
I know. I mean, it was just like a money laundering comedy club. It wasn't like a legit. They didn't give a fuck about the show. All their money was being made upstairs.
It was in Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Milwaukee's always had like a weird scene. Mm-hmm. The comedy club was a weird
But that comic was from Seattle.
The comic that was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I left Seattle 20 years ago. So God knows what the fuck is going on up there now.
I'll tell you his name after the podcast. I'm pretty sure you know who he is.
It's funny that I just bumped into one of the guys from Seattle when I was in Portland. David Crow. Fucking great guy. Great
He's
fucking
funny.
comic.
Yeah.
David Crow. Mm-hmm. Bro, David Crow is no fucking joke, man.
Yeah.
And it was weird because I always think of those guys that didn't make the move down here that really could have been stars. Like David Crow. If he would have came down here, he would have nailed something.
But he still makes a ton of money doing corporates. He does a great job.
He lives up in Seattle. Yeah. And he's happy. And he's got his farm and the whole fucking deal. Well, I think he's got a farm. I don't know. There's another guy that I always think about, Rod Long, a black dude. He's older. If I'm 56, he's got to be 66, 65, 64. He always made me fucking laugh. And he took care of me, too, up there. It's just weird, the people that you've done 13 fucking years of comedy.
Yeah.
And I know, how long have you been in LA for?
In April, it'll be 3 years.
3 years. Mm-hmm. So you moved out here at the 10-year mark.
Yep. 10 years, 10 grand.
And you have an agent, the whole thing?
I actually just started talking with Andy from Brostein.
Okay.
So.
That's good. Andy's a good man. That's
he is.
Buddy. Mm-hmm. I called him yesterday because that's his favorite restaurant.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Peter Luger's his favorite restaurant. So I called him. I said, guess where I'll be tomorrow at 3:45, 12:45 your time. I'll be in fucking Peter Luger's with Ari Shafir living like a fucking doctor in there. So yeah, he was like, God damn it. Last time I went, I couldn't get in. It's funny. I have this audition next week. Somebody called me and they were like, we want you to read for this role or whatever. And I got the role, and I did what I usually do. I read it, and then I read it twice, and then I yellow it out. Mm-hmm. I put the yellow magic marker, and then after that, I fucking read it stoned a couple times, and I start making notes. And then right before I start getting into the middle of things, I go into I have a notebook just for acting. Over the years, it's just gotten so slow. For years, I would go through a notebook or two a year of just auditions, who the casting director was,
You'd keep a log of all that?
all that. All that.
Wow,
I still
really?
have it. Yeah,
Wow.
you gotta see who you go into, who gets Christmas cards at the end of the year. You know, I would make sure they all got thank you cards after the audition. You know, it's
Man, I never thought to do that.
It's boring. It's boring shit.
Yeah.
But if you don't do it, you're gonna regret it. And it's good to see what your numbers are at the end of the year, and where you are, and how many callbacks you got. I used to call those notebooks my callback notebooks, because all I wanted was a callback. That's all I'm looking for. I wasn't even looking to book. So when I started this program, it was called the callback. And then the second year, the project was called the second callback. And then the third year, the project was called Book It.
Yeah.
And every year after year, it was called Book It. So I would have the notebook in there, and the first page would just be all the dates, the cast and director, and all that stuff. And then once you open the notebook, I would leave another page blank, and then everything after that was each audition on the page. So let's say I was reading for Donnie Brasco.
Sure.
I would say Donnie Brasco, 2/17/2001, and I would put the name of the character, Sonny Black, and then I would put the cast and director underneath, and then I would read the sides and break the character down. If his name was Leo, I would call him Leo LaRoche, and give him a back name, and I would write what the character was, who he was, how he got into the mob, what crime family, who his wife was. I would just write this fake biography about this guy, and I would have something to work with. And then I would take the scenes and cut the scenes, and how many scenes. Like for this audition I have on Monday, it's going to get cut to 2 scenes. So I would look at the scenes and dissect the scenes. What's really happening in the first scene, and what's really happening in the second scene.
Yeah, and what happens like right before the scene, right? What happens right after?
All that shit. And then afterward, in 2001, when we couldn't make rent was $700, and me and my wife couldn't make rent. My wife put away money and got me a birthday present, and it was to go to UCLA to go to a Lou DiGiamo casting session, right? And it was called The Subject is Casting. And in my hand right now, I'm still holding the original paperwork that it says. And when I read this, I took this and I combined it with the principles of the Comedy Store. And I started booking like a fucking machine.
Really?
Do you understand me? Like at this point, I had done like maybe 70 auditions. I had auditioned for The Sopranos. I had auditioned for Rona Cress. I had auditioned for some big names. And I would get callbacks and get nervous as shit. And the sides would shake when I was reading at the callbacks and stuff. But once I read this, I made myself read this before every audition. So as I'm preparing, I would read this and I would make notes in the audition where I would have to and how I would have to make choices. And this is what it says. It says the subject of casting, and listen to how it compares to stand-up. It says the subject of casting, Lou DiGiamo, helpful tips concerning auditions. Just like a joke, make strong acting choices. That means in the joke is to stand behind your joke. Don't say the joke like a pussy. If you're going to say it, say it.
Say it or don't say it at all. Yeah.
Passion, either have it or go home. Anything goes. Commitment to preparation, commitment to your choices in the room. A star has to be dangerous and unpredictable. The big sell is selling you to you. Persistence, you are unique. Perseverance, listen. Acting is a career, not a job. Rejection should be pleasant, not an excuse to leave the business. 1 yes makes up for 50 no's, at least. Charles Durning for 11 years had no acting jobs. Hang in there. You win the part in the moment. Make that moment. That shit kills me. That's when I fucking start. I know exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Because you see it when actors do it in their work. 2 reasons for the audition. To get the job is the first reason, but the real reason is to be remembered. You can't be a defeatist in the world. Otherwise, don't go. Don't audition. Stay home. Give the audition up and burn it. Burn the fucking room. It says, Prepare, prepare, prepare. It can be done and you can do it. If you want a part, go after it. A beautiful model came in, wasn't good at all that good. Excited, bubbly, fresh, but not that good. The next day she went, she sent me a letter. I thought I'd better look at her tape again. She made me think twice, so do something, anything, but do something. Don't give up. You always have a choice even when you lose. If you lose in the blaze of glory instead of losing to passivity. Make strong choices. You may influence someone for the next time. Somehow you have to take a risk. You have to light a firecracker under your ass and do something that seems to be totally off the wall for the character, which is stand-up.
Yeah.
That's it. Mm-hmm. Listen to those words again. Totally off the wall, to light a firecracker under your ass and do something that seems totally off the wall for the character. The fucking ball is in your court, but you don't know it. You think you're a fucking victim, and you're scared and you're afraid. Casting directors have a problem, and they're calling you to come in and solve it. Just like when you have a plumbing problem, you call a plumber. You have an acting problem, you call an actor. The actor has to come in and do it. And when you solve it, the casting people are happy. So come in with your version. It goes like this. My ideas, my reading. I hope you like them. You don't? Okay, next time. Shake it up. Don't settle. In some way, be furious. Acting without risk, challenge, and conflict is not worth doing. An artist is a rebel and unpredictable. The audition space is yours. The time is yours. Don't waste it. Don't come in with a chip on your shoulder. Get rid of your hostile attitude. Focus. It's all about focus. Give yourself a license for imagination. That fucking destroys me.
Mm-hmm.
A license for imagination. That's what I tell my daughter constantly when we draw.
Yeah.
When we fucking color at night.
Mm-hmm.
I tell her, what difference does it make? There's no, I go off on it and she gets it now. And her art improved that so much that they asked her to be in the animation project next year when she turns
Really?
7.
Oh, that's awesome.
The job is yours until you lose it. That's
such a
tremendous.
better way. Yeah, it's a better way to think about it.
Acting is a lifetime journey. An actor is a magician. He transports us to another time and place. He makes us believe he's someone else. While we're watching, we forget about ourselves and our concerns. This little worksheet, like I said, has fucking fucked me up. Because I always go through it. And it makes me a fucking savage.
Yeah, it basically is just telling you to be confident in your choices and take risks.
And there's nights, even before I go down to the comedy store, that I will take this out and read it and get fired the fuck up.
Yeah.
So when I get down, look at this.
It's like a good mantra.
This still has me writing down agents to send emails to and packages. Nancy App to Daniel Ha. C. Holla at Aqua. This is fucking old shit here, my friend. You know what I'm saying? But that's what people don't understand, that it's done the same way every time. I don't miss a step. Not because I invented this. Because that's what they tell you. There's steps to this. There's steps all along the way, and they're not going to be easy. They're not going to be easy. And that's why I applaud the fuck out of you. Because you're just fearless, man. You're at the lion's den. You're a dog girl at the lion's den. That means any of those. What happened? Didn't they kill a girl last week? Didn't a lion kill a fucking girl last week in a cage somewhere?
They didn't kill me, though.
No. That's what I'm saying.
I think it was at a zoo or something.
At a zoo or something. Some fucking poor girl that thought she was a veterinary's assistant. Some lion just fucking ate her. You're a fucking dog girl at that,
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think you get an education by watching those other comics?
Absolutely. I think because I used to go, even before I worked there, when I moved to Los Angeles, I would come and watch. Because I think that's another thing that's lost is a lot of times comics don't watch each other anymore. They don't watch people that's better.
I told Syatt to make a night one night where he just goes to watch comedy and to take a date. So he has to sit there and he has to feel like that person. To make you a better comic, you have to go on I went on a date to see Doug Stanhope with my girlfriend at the time. Mm-hmm. And it was such a shocking experience I canceled my gig the next day and thought about quitting comedy. Because I got to see inside the, you have to sit like, don't sit in the front row. That's too much pressure.
No.
You have to sit like in the third row and watch a comedy show as a pedestrian now that you've been doing it for a year and a half and see what they feel like while you're on stage. And it's going to scare you. That's when you see the animal from within. That's when when you're fingering it and you open up a clit and look in there, that's what you see. And you said there's like a missing part and you're like, I don't know if I want to keep dating her. There's not a wing there. There's a missing tooth.
She's missing a wing.
She's missing a tooth.
Her clit's like 5 inches. I can't do it.
Would you stop with the 5-inch clit?
He's gonna have a nightmare about it tonight. I'm gonna call at 3 in the morning.
You're bragging about that 5-inch
Pick somebody's nose with it. I'm telling you, it's
bragging
fun.
about that 9-inch clit now. Wait till you're 50 and it hangs between your legs like my balls. And you can't do doggy style because it looks like an oxygen mask. Like a guy gets under it and he could just put it over his head. It looks like a fucking jellyfish that's floating out there. I swear to God, I used to date a chick that when we did a doggy style, the curtains, it was like the gay guy pulled the stick and the curtains would just drop. I was younger and I liked this. She was hot and shit, but that shit turned me off. But the wings would just
Because
drop.
you could see the curtains from the back.
The curtains would fall, and they had like, if she moved, they would move. They were so long.
Oh, like they'd flow
They
in
looked
the
like
wind.
elephant's ears, like like a Dumbo. And she was sexy, but the wings were a little long. But who
How
gives a
many
fuck?
inches? Like, do you think it would go to the knee?
No,
No,
like if she was on all fours. It was just like a couple of inches longer. Like she had a little penis, and they cut it out in the hospital, but left
They
the skin.
split it in half.
But some women's wings are tight. Like the shit is tight. It hangs on to. It's got like crazy glue.
Yeah.
And the back flap.
sticks
and
to the sides of it.
skin. No.
Yeah.
Hers just dropped.
Oh,
But I didn't know it till you did a doggy style. By that time, we were dating a while. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do? You can't.
at that
turn
point,
the-
I mean, you're still gonna come. Who gives a shit? When she's
you
got hanging
can't-
curtains.
You can't. I don't know. I don't. Look at me. Look at my face. I'm no fucking Vito Smattarelli. You know what I'm saying? I got to take what they're giving. Knowing that you're not Vito Smattarelli makes a big difference in your life.
For sure.
There's guys that walk around thinking they're fucking, Vinny Darkness. And meanwhile, they don't know nothing about nothing. And they wonder why nothing happens.
And then they think the recorder's broke because it's not picking up the
'cause
laughs.
not picking up that poor bastard.
What a fucking dummy. I just worked with somebody like that. They told me I watched them eat a big dick on stage, and then afterwards they said they hadn't bombed in 10 years. They told me that they hadn't bombed in 10 years. Do you realize how delusional you have to be to not think you bombed in 10 years? Because you did. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck if you are Dave Chappelle. You have bombed within 10 years.
I was living in Seattle in an apartment. I had a bed mattress on the floor. I was living with a guy named Mark Madison. He's still around. He lives in San Diego. He does comedy from time to time. We were all friends. Me, him, Josh Wolf. All of us were friends. That house we rented for nothing. It was like 2 years from being condemned to crack house. There weren't mice or anything. It just wasn't a happy house. He did all the cooking in there, and no. Okay. He did all the cooking in there, and he did all that shit in there. Mark Madison, I never cooked nothing or anything, but I still remember sitting on my fucking milk crate. Like I had a milk crate in my room that I would sit on and write jokes, and the phone was right there, and getting a call from that guy. That delusional guy, and him telling me if I had 5 minutes to talk to him. And I go, what's going on? And he goes, they hired me as a headliner on Tuesday, and then I got demoted to a feature. Then Thursday, the guy said I would have to host. I don't know what to do. Should I quit? And I remember how heartbroken I was. That as bad of a situation I was featuring. Was I a good feature at the time?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I had 18 minutes. If I caught a good wave of improvising, I'd go 26, 25.
Yeah.
But this poor bastard had been demoted to a host.
From a headliner.
Because, like I said, he banged older women and they paid for all his tuxedos and shit. And his fucking packaging was beautiful. He had headshots for all the characters he thought he was.
Yeah.
Like he had him dressed in white doing Scarface with machine guns. Him as Pacino, him as De Niro, him as Jack Nicholson.
And he couldn't do any of their voices at all.
He was all... It was so sad. And I saw him eat a bag of dicks like 3 times. Like not bomb, but just like...
Yeah. No
crickets,
laughs.
nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the last time we talked. And whenever I talk to a mutual friend of ours, I always ask him, have you ever heard from him again? He goes, nah, I heard he lost his mind. So many guys I started comedy with in Denver. There was one good guy that I was friends with, and he tried to kill himself. So every time I would see him, I'd hug him and whisper in his ear, I'm checking you for weapons. And he would giggle, and we were good friends. And eventually he shot himself a couple of years ago. His name was P.J. Moore, God rest his soul. It's so weird how when you're at that level of open micery, 50% of it is mental health.
Oh,
and
for
I'm not
sure.
putting anybody down at all. I'm just telling you a reality. If you think about it, if you're an open micer right now and you're living the life, next time you go to the big city open mic, look around you. Look at the people that are around you, and listen. God bless them. I'm not putting anybody down for trying comedy, but at that level, there's a lot of just crazy people. The store.
Well, yeah, it's the mic's open. That
Yeah.
means anybody.
The Sunday night.
There's
at
no
the store
vetting process.
used to be. Boom Chakalaka turned out not to kill anybody.
Yeah.
But years ago, I thought Boom Chakalaka, sometimes he dresses up like a man, sometimes he dresses up like a woman, he's got HIV, you know, and he would bring his buddies with him. Now he comes alone. Boom Chakalaka always brought a buddy with him or something. He always had an album to show you. Sweetheart of a guy. I love when I see him now. I just laugh that out of all the survivors,
Yeah.
Boom Chakalaka is still around. Out of all the people who talk shit and they love comedy. And
Yeah.
I can't see myself not doing this. That Boom Chakalaka
Boom's
is still
there.
fucking around.
It's just crazy that they think they're killing. Like I'm just thinking about the ones that I've seen.
There's a level on the road of comics that are very disgruntled. Alcoholism runs deep. Drug dealing, drug use. I was one of those guys. You don't get to work an A room every week. You don't get to open up for Dave Attell and Joe Rogan every week. No. You got to go up there to these rooms that are C rooms and open up for guys that at one time had a dream and something ruined it.
Yeah.
And they're angry now. They're angry at you. As soon as you mention L.A., oh boy, do you get a fucking ear beaten. I lived in L.A. for a while.
Oh, LA sucks.
LA sucks.
Yeah. Everything.
Nobody does nothing for you. I'm the funniest guy. I could talk anybody. I could fucking get a standing ovation every night at the Improv, and nobody would care for me. Nobody could follow me. There was a kid that every time I saw him, that was his story. Nobody could follow me, dog. Nobody could follow me.
Did you follow him?
He's gone. He couldn't follow himself. Mr. Nobody could follow him. Yeah, bro, people will hire me to go on the road, but then they fire me because they can't follow me. Really?
That's what happened?
Yeah, that's what happened. They're making fucking $200,000 a night, and they fired you because they can't follow you. Okay, keep telling yourself that.
Yeah.
I went through all that shit, so that's why I don't listen to it. I know just by doing it, you just know. You could look at somebody and see them different things that they tell you that they're a young comic.
Oh, yeah.
And if I see it, other people are going to see it. So you don't want those people to really see you until you're fucking really fucking throwing
That's
heat.
why I tell them not to come out here. Don't come out here until you have your shit together. If you don't know who the fuck you are, you don't have your voice, don't fucking come here and figure it out. Because first of all, there's not a lot of time for you to figure it out. And second of all, it's going to drive you insane trying
Once
to
you
figure it out
started
here.
comedy, that club closed in Orlando.
Yeah, there was
Then how long did it take
Orlando
for it to
Improv.
reopen?
It was like 4 years, I think. 4 years. So I only had B and C rooms to learn how to be a comedian. It was all fucking VFWs and like Holiday Inn lounges in fucking coffee shops. And again, like seafood restaurants where they didn't know comedy was happening, just some promoter convinced a guy to give him $400 to do a show.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I can't imagine it.
And they go up there with that fucked up microphone and shit. Good evening. How you doing? Faces over here. And people are wiping their mouths,
Yeah,
looking
just-
at you. And you're like, how you doing? I don't know if you guys are aware. We do a little comedy night here where we have great comedians that you see on NBC, CBS, HBO. These guys haven't been seen on public access television. And you're up there lying to their faces and shit. And then, and then there's the white people really get excited. They're like, oh my God, it's comedy.
Oh.
And the first guy goes up there and starts talking about abortion. And he kicked the aborted child of an unborn baby and fucking he ran over his mother's head. And these people are sitting there going, what the fuck?
Just trying to eat my fucking tilapia. Why am I getting verbally assaulted?
Oh my God. All of a sudden you see the restaurant manager run to the promoter and go, tell him to stop talking about abortions. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, those rooms are hell. Nobody looks at you. You leave there defeated. Like you leave there with your $30 and you want to rip up the $30. You're like, I don't even want to spend the $30.
I don't even want it.
I don't even want to put it in my car because my car's going to blow up on the drive home. There used to be a Mexican restaurant in Denver that I used to just go there to bomb. And it was typical because it was a 40-minute ride. So it was a long
Ride home.
El Torito. And they gave you a dinner and you got a $25 gift certificate.
Oh, wow.
Come back in those days. So, dog, when things are bad, I would
Yeah.
buy $4
That's
for
worth
gas,
the 40-minute drive.
and
Free
I would
food.
drive out to El Torito and get the worst Mexican food at that time. That food is so bad. They had one on Burbank Boulevard, right by the Tonight Show, and they knocked it down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, across the street from NBC. It was the last. No, I think the one in Huntington Beach is still open. It was supposed to be at the House of Margaritas. I took my wife there. We both were fucking sick for 3 days. We got the appetizers during the happy hour. You shit blood for 3 fucking days. It was terrible. Well, Carmen, I'm happy that you're out here and you found your voice, and I'm happy you're the second door woman
Thank you.
in Comedy Store history. Mitzi Shore is looking down and you're going, oh, I like her.
I hope so. I hope she's not just mad that there's a broad here.
No. You know, I get pissed off when I hear stupidity, and I used to hear a lot of it, murmurs of it, and it was like thrown at me. Like I would take offense for it. Like, oh, the Comedy Store doesn't pander to women, you know. Look at the lineups every night. There's only 2 fucking women, you know.
But here's the other thing that nobody takes in consideration is a lot of times those women are already working. It also has to be based on who's available. Like, I can't tell you how many times I get asked to do the same show, to do like 3 different shows on the same night, you know? And there's only so many places I can be.
But you'd be at the Comedy Store first.
Well, yeah, without
That's
question.
the top of your list. So what I'm saying is that they always, for years, the last like 2 or 3 years, I've heard that there's been lawsuits and shit where women have complained there's not enough spots at the store. Well, guess what? Not only did I save all the jokes I did and all the auditions I went, I have every night that I went up to line up from 1997.
You wrote every time you've gone up at the store?
No, I stole the page.
Did you really?
Yeah. So I got every lineup I was on, so people could see I was a real killer 20 years from now when I do my book, and you see some of the early lineups where I went up. I got some early lineups.
That's awesome.
I have a notebook at the bottom of a drawer that is 4 inches thick, and it's every call sheet I've ever gotten with the mini script.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you book a job, you get a call sheet, which is your name with a number. And then it shows you what scenes you're in. You're in scene 82, 83B. I saved all my call sheets. It's this fucking thick. It's 2 yellow manila envelopes. And it's got, like, everything. There's one that's every audition I went on. Like, I look at it and I get tears in my eyes.
Aww.
Like, the auditions I went on. Like, I went on Will Smith, Men in Black.
Yeah.
I used to go out for shit like that, and I was not ready for it at all. And I'd walk into a room with these seasoned actors, and I would lose. I would lose from the start, you know. Like, I would go in there and go, fuck, I'm defeated. And then one day I started thinking, like, wait a second, fuck these bitches. They never bombed in Buffalo. Like, that was my roughest bombing ever.
Yeah.
Up to 2001, 2002, the roughest bombing I ever had was where I do the best now today.
Oh, yeah?
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like, that's the first time I went home.
Well, of course, if it hurts you the most, you're going to dominate it the best. You'll show that bitch.
You know, you have those sets. You have accomplishments every 90 days when you're a comedian. But you also have setbacks. It's a rough thing to say, and it's a rough thing to understand. You also have little setbacks every couple of days. And it's rough to make you wait for those 90 days for something good to happen, you know?
Yeah.
But it's one of those bombings that stays with you. Like,
For a long time.
I still have specific bombings, and Buffalo was one of those places that was to the bone.
Yeah, it hurt you.
Like, I was already a regular at the store. I was doing shows around town. I wasn't supposed to be bombing. Like, in my mind, I'm not supposed to be bombing. But I did, and fucking... It was mind-boggling when I went to my hotel. It was a condo then.
Oh, of course.
It was a condo. And I just went in that fucking room and I was disgusted. I was like, man, I don't know. I should just I was in Buffalo.
So you did so bad you deserved the condo.
I did so bad I thought of just staying in Jersey, like not even coming back to LA. I was like, I'm not even gonna go.
They don't know.
LA.
I live here now.
You got any dates coming up?
Yes, I do.
What's your nearest date coming up?
My nearest date coming up is I'm going to be headlining Cobb's on March 6th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just you alone?
Yeah.
That's a big fucking room.
I've never been there. It's my first time going. And I'll be at the Throckmorton the day before, the 5th.
Okay.
At the Throckmorton, and then the 6th at Cobb's in San Francisco.
And you'll be headlining Cobb's. When do you open for Maria again?
I don't know. I don't have anything on there.
She just calls you whenever she's ready to rock.
She's actually my landlord.
Is she really?
Yeah.
That's a good way. Don't just tell you don't have the rent.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have rent, but I saw that you are going to San Antonio in a few weeks. So
yeah. That's it. Why don't you take me to San Antonio and that'll cover the rent? That's what I used to do with Bill Bauer.
Did you
never
really?
had the rent money. He wasn't my landlord. He was just a promoter. And I would go, Bill, you gotta lend me $400, and he would lend it to me, and I would just work it out with gigs for the month.
Oh wow!
I would do like three $50 gigs and one $200 gig, and he would tell me, forget about the rest. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
He is a good guy, so that's why. Sometimes shit rolls downhill. Sometimes generosity rolls downhill.
Yeah, it's
you gotta be
both.
at the bottom of the hill to catch it. You know what I'm saying?
Catch it and dodge it. You're trying to
dodge
not get the shit while still taking the generosity.
Listen, man, I'm happy you took the time to be on the show. I see you as
Are you
an
kidding me?
up-and-comer.
I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
You're very free. You're very loose on stage, and you're gonna go someplace. Not maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe 6 years, but they're gonna be giving you a show one day. I could see it.
Yeah, I hope so.
Where can they find you? Have a webpage, Carmen?
Sure. CarmenMorales.com for all of your Carmen Morales needs. I also have a podcast called No Sir, I Don't Like It. If anybody here likes disliking things, it's at No Sir Pod. You can follow me on all the assorted social media at The Funny Carmen.
I just want to make a public apology to you.
Why?
About 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, 4
Oh,
weeks
would you
ago.
stop?
At the store. What happened was I was so proud of her going up, and we passed each other in the main room. And, you know, I want people to understand this. Even at the 20-year mark, when I'm at the store, I'm still floating on clouds. Mm-hmm. So when I'm walking past you and I touch your back, it's like telling you I love you without saying it.
Yeah.
Like I'm being dragged. I got to dodge this guy. I got to do this. I got to get to the original room. And me and you bumped into each other. Now, you put such a smile on my face that night. And I looked at you, and you had a Comedy Store shirt on, and she had a jacket on. But she had Jessica Pennington with you.
Yeah, Jessica Wellington. Yeah.
Wellington, Pennington, whatever. I don't fucking know these people's names. What am I, a cop? And all of a sudden, I didn't want to embarrass her, so I was trying to tell her to close her jacket because I didn't want anybody to know she was a door woman. I wanted her to respect her as a comic. And she took it like I was talking about her tits.
No,
I'm too old to talk
you
about
just
your
because you
tits.
said take. I was like, I don't have another shirt. You were like, you should change your shirt, and I was like, I don't have another shirt. And you're like, well, just take your shirt off. They'll love if you have your tits out.
Oh no, I meant to button up your shirt on top of it. I'd rather you have cleavage
Oh
than
right,
have a Comedy Store shirt on.
gotcha.
I'd rather you take your shirt off, button your jacket, have a button pop and a tit pop out like a little fucking malfunction. Everybody forgot about the Janet Jackson tit malfunction. I'd rather you have a tit malfunction in the main room and get 2,000 more Twitter followers the next day than fucking a Comedy Store shirt on and they look at you as a door person.
Right.
So I was just trying to give you the respect that you deserve as a comedian. Never mind a woman. Who gives a fuck if you're a woman? You're still a comedian first.
Right.
So that was funny that I was like, no, just take your shirt off and fucking button it. I'd rather you have, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fucking babunyas than them see Comedy Store.
I did a hat trick that night.
Yeah, I saw that the next day. You did the belly room, the original room, and the main room.
And I just did like 2 weeks ago. I just did 4. I did 4 sets in the same night. 2 belly room, a main room, and an original room, all in the same night.
Well, call me when you do a Comedy Store, the Improv, and the Laugh Factory next, and then we'll talk business.
That sounds fun.
There you go. Wait till
I
you
like them when
realize.
when they're back to back like that.
Mondays used to be Latino night and Freaky Monday at the Improv.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them were hot. If you get on one of them, you jerk off all over yourself.
Really?
And there was one time where I got that, so I ran to the store.
And you're
I
like,
got there,
please.
and like, come on, put me up.
Please.
I will give you 3 minutes. Bam, triple header. Once you get a triple header, you feel you talk shit for a few days. You walk with a limp and shit. You're like, fuck you, bitch.
You couldn't talk to me for a couple days after
Shit,
that.
Yeah, after a 3-hatter at
Yeah.
the store. And like you got to go up in front of Chappelle or something like that.
Yep.
You're like, fuck. A couple weeks ago, I was leaving. And my wife had cooked something. And I told the baby I would be home with a donut or something. I had like an 8 o'clock set. And as I'm walking out the door, fucking the great talent coordinator, Adam, comes up to me and goes, hey, man, do you want to open up for Chappelle in the original room at 11 o'clock? I'm like, no.
What? You said no?
I had to get home. I got you know what I'm saying? I got orders.
How do these fucking people don't know you're a dad? I'm just saying, like, you having a hard time, like we were talking about, like, transitioning from, like, character-wise, like, you are a father, and, like, talking about it, and then people not, like, really getting into it with you yet.
Open up that door for me before I sweat to death. It's hot back here today. Thank you. Oh, look at it. It's still fucking raining. It's a beautiful day to do bong hits here in Southern California. Today's the good day to do bong hits and give your wife a stab, and it's one of those days. Watch The Sopranos on fucking whatever
Cocksure.
the fuck it is. What were you saying? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Well, just that, like, you gave up opportunities like that to do something that would be considered really cool in comedy, to go be with your family. Like, you know what I mean? There's a difference. You are growing and changing too. And I think that your audience, or people in the audience that know you and are familiar with you, have to grow and change with you, you know? Because you are a dad.
Yeah, but these people are 25 years old. These people that come to the shows are kids.
So?
They can't be dads yet. I don't want them to be dads. I want them to sling dick and have some good time first before they settle down.
Well, they should, but that
I
doesn't
made a
mean you
mistake.
have to
Listen,
do that.
I made a mistake at 27 and got married. Yeah, the mistake really wasn't a mistake because I ended up doing comedy out of it. I lost a daughter. I have a 27-year-old daughter, and we don't speak. We have no communication. But if you look at the big picture, it took me 25 years to come up with this. It's not an excuse. It's a way for me to put the pain away.
Sure.
I gave up a life for a life. Before that, I didn't have a life. I didn't have an identity. I was just an ex-felon that did coke and whatever. I got the life I wanted. I got the fucking wife, the kid, the comedy. We got the podcast with Lee. I'm not in jail. I'm healthy. I got the life I wanted, but I had to give up a life for it. And I came to terms with that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
to become a good anything, there's got to be sacrifice. To become good at anything, a doctor, pre-med, pre-law, law, there's times you got to give up shit because we can't. Best thing about comedy is you don't have to go to weddings. You know what I'm saying? That's the greatest thing about comedy.
Yeah.
Hi, are you coming to my wedding? Come on.
I get a gig.
What
I'm
date?
so sorry.
September 3rd. You don't even look in your book. You're like, oh,
I can't.
I'm in San Antonio that weekend. Then they hit you with, but I looked
I've
at
been
you.
in 2 weddings in the last 10 years,
then they
and I
look at you-
love it.
They look at you and they go, I looked at your webpage. You don't have a date. My web
My
dude
web
died.
guy. My web.
My web dude died. His hand got cut off by an alligator. He won't be able to type till December. So nobody knows. It's an ultra-secret gig. Don't tell nobody. That's the great thing about being a
Oh,
comic.
I haven't updated my website. Oh, I don't
Yeah,
know what
that's the
happened.
worst.
I don't know what happened.
Have you ever said the town that they were having the wedding in? Like, we're having our wedding in San Antonio.
No. I do all the
No.
fact study. I keep it quiet, and I do the wedding.
Keep it
If they
vague.
tell me they're getting married in San Antonio, I got a gig in Rio de Janeiro. Our paths aren't even going to fucking cross. There's no way my plane's even going over your fucking state. You know what I'm saying?
I actually can't advertise it. I'm performing for a drug lord, so I can't really put it on the internet.
Don't say nothing because I want to live another day. I don't need my head on fucking YouTube on a stick next to this poor Jew bastard.
Actually, I can't even be having this conversation with it anymore. So
don't
my
even
best
bring it
wishes for your wedding.
up. Yeah, I don't fucking go to weddings and shit like that. Anyway, Carmen Morales, thank you for taking the time. Don't forget to see her up March 6th up in our neighborhood up there in Cobbs with the fucking savages and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Last time we went up there, we tortured some guy with a dog, right, Lee?
Yeah, you and Butch did the night before I got there.
And what, you didn't do nothing? You
No,
were
I wasn't. I
laughing
remember I
too.
only came in for for
that's-
Saturday. You did Friday. You showed me the videos though.
Yeah,
What'd you do?
that's a great club. We went to a 7-Eleven and there was some guy yelling at us in the corner. And we just yelled back and forth for a few fucking, I don't know, who the fuck.
The way I remembered it, like he followed you and then you followed him, telling him you were gonna cook his dog or something.
We're gonna eat that fucking dog. We kept telling him we were gonna eat his dog. And he kept looking at us going, you're not gonna touch this fucking dog. And we were yelling, I'm gonna come over there and eat that fucking dog. And he would walk and then come back and yell something back at us. You ain't gonna touch me. You don't know who I am. Fuck you, cocksucker. I'm gonna go over there and eat that fucking dog. Oh my God, we taped it. And we died for fucking hours. I guess you had to be there. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Carmen Morales, March 6th. You motherfuckers, Brea Improv. Thursday next week, a week from today, the 24th to the 26th. Get ready to rock. It's me and my man George Perez. And what's the little Indian dog guy from the store? Ansan Sazan?
Hassan Ahmad.
Hassan Ahmad. I like that name. Ansad Ahmad is opening up. We're going to have a good time. It's a trifecta of colors, a Mexican, a Cuban, and an Ansad Ahmed, whatever the fuck. So whatever you are, there's a joke for you there. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the fuck you are, there's a joke there. I might hire a transvestite DJ. I'm not sure yet. I got to find one who still spins old school. You know what I'm saying?
But he's Asian.
Looking for transgender DJ. Must be able to spin old school. Let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Get the ad. Bust it out on Twitter. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, I love you cocksuckers. I'll see you Monday morning. Whether you rock, I want to thank Carmen Morales. Where can we find you?
CarmenMorales.com at The Funny Carmen on all the assorted social media.
And I want to thank the Christ Killer. And I want to thank you motherfuckers for being loyal family. From Wookie Spooky to Bob Lalingus to Jay Bish to Dante fucking Gazzini. I haven't heard from you, Dante, but don't send me no more letters, all right? You're killing me, cocksucker. I love you guys. Stay black. Have a great week. I want to thank Carmen Morales. I want to thank the Christ Killer, and I want to thank you motherfuckers. But most importantly, I want to thank my bookie. You know why? Because that's the way to go. At my bookie, you play, you win, you get paid. I mean, let's face it. The NFL playoffs are here. You don't want to be that guy with no rooting interest as your relatives and friends sit around watching a game. Not this year. Not for the 53rd Super Bowl. And it's around the corner. And you got the Pro Bowl. And you got the playoffs. And you got 1,000 things, 1,000 angles how to make some guitas. It really is the most wonderful time of the year. So make sure you're ready for the daily action by signing up at MyBookie today. They pay fast when you win. Ownership really cares about good customer service, and they offer you the craziest props. Where you bet is as important as who you're betting on. And if you want to make money during the bowl season and so on and so forth, you got to go to my bookie. I trust them. But if you don't have to take my word for it, check them out yourself, all right? Join now. And my bookie will offer you a 50% deposit bonus to make sure you have a nice bankroll for bowl season. Use promo code CHURCH when you deposit to activate your offer. That means you put in a yardstick, you got $1.50, all right? Who's better than my bookie? Use promo code CHURCH. Why? Because at my bookie, you play, you win, and you get paid. Also, on it, the best, the goods, Alpha Brain, Shroom Tech, the protein powders, the Alpha, the Shroom Tech Immune, the Shroom Tech Sport, they all deliver, and this is what you're looking for to get the year started in the right direction. I can't get you 10% off from the kettlebells and the club bells and that stuff, but as far as supplements are concerned, I got your back. Go to onnit.com right now. If there's a supplement you're looking to get, and as the way out, in the box, press in.
Church.
Bam! And get 10% off your order delivered right to your house. You can't beat that. This is how Uncle Joey takes care of you. He's got my bookie for you, and he's got Onnit for your head and for your health. And don't forget, next week, I'm at the Brea Improv from Thursday night to Saturday with my man George Perez. We're going to rock that motherfucker. So make sure you're there, and that's it, and that. I'll see you Monday morning, nice and early, ready to fucking rock. I don't want no stories. You understand me? Have a great weekend. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting the church every weekend. Kick this fucking mule, Lee.